There's been an emphasis on ball movement. I'm glad they finally agree. So, no, we've talked about it for a long time, but I guess threats make a little difference on what I'm emphasizing. So, but no, they did a good job. They had a great practice yesterday, best one we've had in a long time. You know, I don't know. I'm anxious to see how they respond today and tomorrow, but we know we got a tough road trip coming up, and you know, there are just certain things that we've got to do, and we haven't been doing it. And ball movement's a big part of it.
What do you see in practice that makes you say it was one of the better? I mean, is it the number of their passes, the crispness, kind of? What are you looking
Well,
for?
in that area, you know, with just the extra pass every time, you know, better decision making, you know, on when there was a shot there and when there wasn't. But the overall physicality of our practice was much better.
How do you coach that, the working on ball movement, whether it's like a drill or whatever?
Well, you know, yesterday it was just in a lot of our drills, you know, making the extra pass on any offensive possession we had, getting the ball out of your hands more in the open court, trusting your teammates. You know, we have you know, every time we think we need a bucket, everybody takes it on their own shoulders to go try to make a play, and we're just not that kind of team. You know, we've got to share the ball and make plays for each other.
Still feel like you can be an aggressive group offensively. You can still at least see the level of aggressiveness you want.
Well, we want to be offensively aggressive, but you know, aggressiveness and taking bad shots. You know, we took bad shots against Oregon State. You know, guys being aggressive, but to a fault. Is something we got to find a better line there. We have not done a good job. I've done a poor job of getting them to understand that, and so you know we've got to do a better job in all facets of the game. But I think offensively, you know, they'll play with a lot more energy if they're making plays for each other.
Encouraging to come off a disheartening loss and see that kind of response in practice.
Well, I'd be really disappointed if I didn't. You know, if you've got any competitiveness at all, you know, if you don't come off a loss and try to compete, then I'd be very disappointed. I've been fortunate enough to do this for a long time. I've had very few teams that don't respond after a loss, and their competitiveness goes up. And you know, with the road trip we got coming up, if we don't compete at a very high level, we won't even have a chance in those ball games. And I told them that. I told them if our competitiveness doesn't go way up, these are two veteran teams that have won. You know, we got three senior guards coming up, Justice, Holder, and Evans, that are as talented at three guard, and then they bring Remy off the bench. I mean, if you don't compete at a really high level, especially on the road, you're in trouble.
They are going to run you. You get the group. Do you feel like you get in there and kind of keep pace with these guys?
Oh, I don't know. I think they probably are with those guards and their depth now. You know, they've added a couple players here at the semester. They're one of the teams that are capable of really running hard for 40 minutes. So we definitely have our work cut out for us, and our defensive transition against Oregon State was poor. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. So we're going to have to do a much better job on this road trip.
You're seeing teams maybe defend Peyton differently. His shooting percentage is way down. His average, I think, is cut in half in Pac-12 play.
Oh, not really. I think he's, you know, he took 10 shots the other day. I thought he took some bad ones. You know, he's definitely someone we need, you know, offensively to go. But I think it starts with him moving the ball also. I think he's got to start our offense, got to start our defense. You know, I'm more worried about assists and turnovers, and we're not getting those either.
Anybody setting the right tone right now? Somebody who you consistently think is making pretty good decisions, shot selection in that?
You know, it'd be more of our inside guys, Mikhail and Paul. You know, I think are probably, you know, they're not taking as many bad shots, or if any. You know, I think Paul's making pretty good decisions, and you know, Mikhail. But as far as our guards are concerned, no, I think they all need to really adjust to what our team needs.
Paul's been your nice lift off the bench.
You know, when he's been healthy, and you know, he's given us something. You know, we missed him there when he was out. No, he definitely gives us a little punch.
Why do you think ASU's gone from where they were last year to, I mean, they were ranked in the top 5 at one point this year?
We've got experienced and talented team. You know, I think those two ingredients, you know, I mentioned before that I think talent's, you got to have talent. Old experience, if it isn't talented, I'm not sure it does you much good, but you know, the second most important ingredient after talent is experience. And they've got very talented guards, and now they've got experience. And so, you know, they've gone out and played well. And even the games they lost a tough one to Arizona, and lost a tough one to Colorado on the road. I mean, those two losses aren't going to hurt.
These really contrasting styles of play with Arizona State and Arizona. Tough to prepare quickly.
Well, it's not as contrasting as you think. You know, it's just that Arizona a little bit better inside because they're experienced and talented in there. They're not, Arizona State's not quite as big, but you know, White's playing really well inside. Lake's playing really well for them inside. So they've got an inside presence. But you're right, Arizona is much more, you know, dominating inside with DeAndre. And so, no, they're two really good teams, the best two teams in our league. You know, so we're going to have to play really well.
Sounds like the wins for ASU have also created maybe a little bit different atmosphere than you guys have had during the last couple of years there.
You know, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they're drawing better. You know, a few years ago, their last NCAA tournament team, they had a great atmosphere when we went down there. I think we lost a 2-pointer down there. It was a pretty tough atmosphere. But no, I'm sure it'll be a little different. And you know, it's again. You know, their experience, I think, no matter what atmosphere they're playing in, they're going to be pretty good.
Through 2 weekends, no one has kind of distanced themselves in the standing. Everybody's got at least one loss. Are you surprised by kind of the parity in the league, and do you think it's going to be a league where any night any team can kind of beat up on each other?
No. I think the Arizona schools are better. They've got a tough road trip, you know, which Colorado, Utah always is. And Colorado played very well. Shows you how quickly a team with, you know, playing hard and moving the ball and confidence can turn it around. But I still think those two schools are the two to beat. And there's probably some separation. You know, I know that Stanford beat both UCLA and USC. And they're healthy now. Stanford was really beat up early and lost a lot of games, but they're healthy. And then the California schools, UCLA and USC, Southern Cal schools are probably, I think they're still a pecking order. But I do think, you know, there's some balance in the league, and it's going to be interesting. But I still think those four teams, talent-wise and experience-wise, you know, I still think you have to take a look at those two things. And still a little bit ahead. But Stanford definitely hasn't made a move because they are very experienced. And now with everybody healthy, they have a little different look to them also.
You use that Colorado example for your own team of effort and intensity?
Oh, I have mentioned it to them. You know how quickly things can turn. You know, if everybody gets on the same page.
Thanks, Coach.
All righty, guys. You bet.